Diane in Denmark here, rah, rah, rah. I hope you have got 5 minutes to spare today. We're going to be doing a very simple craft. What we're going to do is we're going to take a book. Perhaps you have some books that you've been decluttering. Perhaps you have some children's books where maybe their pages have been torn out them. The kids have been colouring them in when they weren't supposed to, it wasn't a colouring book. I'm going to show you how to take an old book and we are going to turn it into a Christmas tree. Now I've mentioned this little craft, and what it is based on is a more complicated craft that you saw at my bestie's house, Vibeke. I think it was 2 years ago. I was over at her house, we were doing some crafting, and I showed you a version of this that she made, which is very beautiful but quite time consuming. And I'm going to give you the budget version today. Anyway, I'll roll the little film so you can see Vibeke's one first. So let's see the complicated version. Okay, that's coming now. Okay, this is a little arrangement that Vibeke has made. This is in her windowsill. And this is something which I admire every year at Christmas when I come to Vibeke's house. Okay, Vibeke, what have you done here? Because Vibeke has made this herself.
Yes, it's actually about an old book. I cut out the pages in a line like this, and then I cut 4 or 5
different layers.
Yeah, and then you have to fold every page.
Wow! And how long did it take you to make that?
Because I know a very long time. Every page has to be folded in.
Yep, like it looks like a Christmas tree. It's fantastic.
It is
so if you're decluttering at home and you have an old book, or you've been at the book exchange, and then the little star just to finish it off. Okay, so if you get bored during the holidays, you can get the kids doing that. Oh, I hope you enjoyed that little trip down memory lane. I've made other videos with Vibeke and over at Vibeke's house. They're all on the recipes and crafts playlist, so I'll put a link up there. Anyway, we are going to do a very easy version today. It won't take much time, and it's just a really kind of hygge, a really cozy thing to do on these long winter nights. And if you have kids, they can probably work out, how to do this too. It's not complicated at all. It takes a wee bit of folding, but it's just a kind of monotonous thing, and as I said, very cozy. Anyway, I'll put my phone down here and try and film it. As I've told you before, I'm not a professional YouTuber, so I don't have all the fancy equipment, but I'll put the camera down here and let's get started. So go and find a book. You're not going to need any special equipment for this, but I have found it's really helpful if you have some big clips or some elastic bands. What you're going to do is you're going to take your book, and we're going to take a good middle section of it. I wouldn't fold from page 1 all the way through, because it's going to be quite time consuming depending on the length of your book. I wouldn't attempt this with War and Peace or Ulysses. But I've got a book here, and this one is, let me see, 280 pages. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it from, I'll take 80 pages on one end. I'm just going to clip them like that to keep them out of the way, and I'll do 80 pages at the other end. So my book is running from like page 81 to page 200, and that will give me quite a few pages at the beginning and at the end. And if you want, you can fold more, but in the beginning, first time you attempt this, just go for not too many pages. And then you've got these ones free, and these ones are going to be your tree. And I would leave some at the sides, because later on I've seen lots of things on Pinterest where people start to decorate, and I'm going to add some glitter glue down the pages here to make it a bit sparkly. I've seen people adding Christmas scraps, the old-fashioned scraps, or colouring it in, so you can kind of go wild afterwards. But I'm going to keep mine fairly plain. So anyway, let me move the camera and I'll start folding. And I suppose this will depend on if I'm left-handed, you may be right-handed. I'll do it both ways. What you're going to do is you're going to take a page and fold it right in. There we are. And just press it flat with your finger, okay? So we've just taken the top of the page and we've made it flush with the spine of the book. And just use your finger to press that down. If you're worried, you know, if you don't like using your fingers too much, you could use a ruler or a blunt knife, you know, to press that down. And then you're going to fold it again. You're just going to fold the same page again into the spine. And then let me lift that up and show you what that becomes. And that is like your first, here we are, if I show it there. I'll take it out. So you folded it once in like that, and then you're folding it again in on itself, and then you'll see that it comes like a little angle here. And all you're going to do is you are going to fold that in. I like to do it flush with the bottom of the book, but you can do it any way you like. And there is your first part of your tree. Okay, so I'll do it again. So I'm going to take the page, I'm folding it right into flush with the spine of the book. And I'm just going to use my finger to press that down so we get a nice edge. And then I'm going to take the same page and fold it in again. You can hear that going in there. And again, use your finger or your thumb to smooth that down. There you go, there's the second one. And then we're going to tuck its bottom, here we are, in there. We're just going to tuck that underneath. I mean, if you wanted, you could cut it off, but I find that it's not necessary. You just tuck it in like that. And there we have number 2. Okay, then I'll do it from the other end. It looks best if you fold them all the same way. I suppose, I'm not sure if this will be if you're right-handed or left-handed, but I'll do it this way. Okay, you're taking your page, once more, so we're doing it from the other end. Taking your page, folding it right into the spine. There we are, see that? It's going right in, one more time. And then we're taking the same page and folding it in again, turning it in on itself. And again, just make a nice fold there with your fingers, okay? So it's folded once and folded twice, and then you're going to fold in its bottom. Okay, so it's not kind of hanging down. Okay, so there's your first page if you're doing it that way. I'll do another one. So I'm folding it in right into the spine, and then folding it in again, the same page, and then tucking in its little bottom. And you can see here, I'm just going to talk to you while I do it. It's time consuming, but it's actually quite fun because quite quickly you can see what your tree is going to look like. There we are. And I sat the other night when I was watching an episode of Game of Thrones, and I managed to do the whole book. So hold on, let me fold it in again. Okay, so listen, I'm not going to bore you and be sitting here for hours and hours. There we are. So you can see, there we are. And what I would suggest is that you fold them all the same way, so that they're all tucked in the same way. And then what you end up with, and that's the reason for either having the clips here or for having some elastic bands. It'll just keep it out of the way, because otherwise you're trying to fold and this is kind of moving up all the time. So I'll just leave there because I'll finish that one off later. And here's the one that I did earlier in best TV fashion. And hold on, I'll get my glue gun out and show you. I have a hot glue gun, but of course if you've got kids you probably don't want to use the hot glue. But you know, any of these glitter glue things, and what you can do is maybe glue down on the edge of the folds there and sprinkle on some coloured glitter. I always like to work on top of a newspaper. It's the same way when I'm doing my nails. I always work on top of a newspaper to avoid any spills. And also when I've been using the glitter, then I can kind of put it all together, and anything that I'm not using, that can go back in the bag, okay? Because you don't want to lose that. So anyway, I hope I've given you a wee bit of inspiration of how to fold your own Christmas tree book. And as you saw with Vibeke on the end, she had a little star on the top of hers. And this is just a shirt. This is just a ceramic one I have. I'm not going to be using this one. But you can see that when it's all done, it'll look very, very festive. Anyway, I hope you enjoy a little crafting at home in this cold and dark long winter. Winter is coming. And all I've got left to say is live long and prosper. May the Danish hygge be with you, and I'll see you very soon. Okay, bye for now.